Welcome to Brewed in Monmouth, the real estate tea with Kate and Doreen. We're here to talk homes, hometown gems, and real conversations with the entrepreneurs and locals who keep Monmouth County buzzing. I'm Kate, and as always,
I'm Doreen. Each week, we're bringing you the voices behind the businesses, the stories behind the sales, and the tea you need to hear. So grab your favorite drink, and let's get into it. Welcome again to our podcast, Brewed in Monmouth with Kate and Doreen. We're super excited today to welcome Alaina Hucke, originally from Missouri, but now a New Jersey girl. And the reason Alaina is here is really such an interesting story because, Taylor Swift touches on it with her, invisible string about how we're all somehow or another connected and attached. And you also had, who was it, Kevin Bacon with the 6 degrees of separation. Mm-hmm. So Alaina actually grew up with my future son-in-law, Greg, and his sister, Allie. Mm-hmm. Many, many years ago. 30-something years ago, right?
Well,
you met on the softball field or something?
I am a football player with Allie.
Okay.
So we're not quite childhood friends, but in the last 10 years, we've been playing football together.
Okay. I thought it was earlier than that.
That's okay.
But that's okay. But in any event, so when my daughter, who's getting married in a couple of weeks, had her bachelorette party, Allie, Greg's sister, suggested that we bring Alaina here to work with the girls and create all that you do with your Lightcraft Studio, which was a really fun surprise for Danielle. And the 14 or 15 girls were blown away with it. They had the best time. So again, through this weird connection that nobody ever saw 10 years ago,
it was amazing.
Here you are.
Yeah,
right?
It was amazing. I felt very lucky to be involved with a group of girls. Because it was such a large group, I'd asked them ahead of time to send in their sort of intention and focus for themselves for the year, because this was mid to late February. So it was still coming off of New Year intentions and things like that. And then I had them also send in a word for Danielle, a wish for her, an intention for her, something as she's going into this new chapter of her life. And ultimately that was written into a letter. We wrote a letter, then I had all the girls sign it. We gave that to her as a surprise. So it was all a surprise. And she got her own one-on-one Lightcraft Studio session. And with the girls' words that they gave me, I did a session kind of ahead of time with them. Or for them, and they got their information there, and then they got to build their ritual as a group. So it was super fun. There were 14 of them. It was probably a little hectic, but it was amazing for me too, because the reason why I do Lightcraft Studio is selfishly, I love connecting with people. It's my favorite thing. And when I do it, I love to do it and be very present. So phones away, phones, face down, and really listening to someone's story, really hearing them and understanding and having them really be heard about whatever they're going through, and to be able to kind of help them through that. And ultimately walking away with something in their hand to remind them who they are and who their light is. So, yeah.
Can you take a step back about the process? Because I wasn't invited to the bachelorette party.
I was at full capacity, let me tell you. 14.
But basically, just what is it? What is Lightcraft Studio?
Lightcraft Studio it's kind of a 3-step process. It's find your light, cast your spell, and craft your ritual. So each one of those, and we can do this in so many different ways. So I'm going to talk most specifically about a one-on-one session. So if it were you and I, we would sit down, we'd chat a little bit, we would do an oracle card pull from a deck, and I have a couple of different ones that you can choose from, kind of depending on what you're feeling. I've really been working with a light one, obviously, with the name of the brand. So we would pull the card, we would talk about the things that it brings up, and really think through some of the thoughts that you have. How can we write an affirmation? So the first card pull is finding your light, and then you write an affirmation, and that is casting your spell on yourself. And then from that, the energy that you are hoping to bring in with this spell, you pick herbs and essential oils and you put it in a salt scrub, and it becomes your ritual. So you take that and you use that on a daily basis, and you recite that affirmation. Typically it's in the shower, because that's where you have the time for yourself. But it can be used as a hand wash or a hand scrub, just a moment that you have to be able to say, this is my light and I'm tending to it and I'm going to use this moment. And with this scrub, I'm scrubbing away the old, the oil is locking in the new. I'm taking a few deep breaths and I'm making that space for myself. So that's ultimately what it's about. So we can do it in many, many different ways, but it's about taking the space to find your light, cast your spell, and create that ritual.
So individualized.
It is very personal.
So different for everybody.
No recipes are the same. I can't say that the affirmations right now have not been the same because when I do pop-ups, they tend to be like a little bit quicker moving. So I usually come with a few affirmations that have been really connecting with people, but the potion itself, that ritual scrub, is different for everybody. But in most cases, I do keep a log of the recipe. So like Danielle, I can refill hers. If she really likes it, I can refill it. However, if you want to do a new spell or a new recipe, if something has changed in your life and you want to recast a spell, we can do a new one.
So once a year, you can start off
You
doing
can
something
do it.
differently.
So I think the scrub, it's an 8 ounce right now. And it should probably last you about a month or so, which if you think about, creating new thought process and maybe new routines, that's probably about the amount of time that you would want to have to do that.
Okay.
So probably in about a month or so, you'd be like, okay, is this working? Do I want to refill it? Everything is sustainable. So it's a glass jar and it's able to be refilled, whether we do it in person. I can also ship it to you. So there's a lot of different ways just to make sure that you are staying connected to yourself and crafting your Lightcraft Studio.
Got it.
There you go, right? It took that long to get there. But yes, that's what it's about.
And what was your background before this?
I was 20 years in corporate America. So I worked at L'Oreal and it's Haleon now, but it was GSK, Pfizer, consumer healthcare. So Advil, Tums, sales, strategy, innovation. And actually, I was thinking about the other day, this idea about having different ingredients and making sort of your own potion was one of my innovation ideas when I was working on the pain business. Because if you are a healer or apothecary, you have different ailments and you can make your own types of salves and things like that, whatever you need. And that was one of the ideas I had. Now here I am making my own potions, right? Like, isn't that crazy? So it's like been sitting in me this whole time, and who knew that I'd be actually
because
doing
every decision, every choice, everything you learn leads you to the right down the path that you're meant to be on.
It is crazy. And I mean, I have been kind of like, for lack of a better term, like wrestling with my thoughts from as early as I can really identify it is about 20 years ago or so. 2006 to be precise. And the reason why I know this is because I was going to church at the time and the pastor did a series on Think, Be, Do. And I loved it so much that I bought the CD set. And I looked at it the other day and it said 2006 on it.
Wow.
But really that is the basis of what Lightcraft Studio is as well, because it's, especially women have these sort of negative, intrusive thoughts. And the moment that you can carve out space to try to redirect those to work for you instead of against you is so powerful. And that think, and then you become it, and then ultimately the actions come out of you and you're doing it. And so that's the kind of the foundation of really all of this, and being able to not be mad at your thoughts, thank them, right? Because they're there for a reason. But really make sure that you're scrutinizing them in a way that they can work harder for you. So this is all just kind of a way to do it. And the scrub is there because here's the thing. We have great conversations with our friends, with our therapists. Maybe we do go to a tarot card reader and it's like, man, that's great. That makes a lot of sense to me. And I want to hold on to that. But then what happens in a couple of days is it kind of maybe fades away.
Gets lost in the noise.
But that's what that potion is there to do, to remind you that space that you make every day, that you stay grounded in that feeling and that thought, that you can, kind of take that along with you and it doesn't get lost. So that's why it's sort of like a service and a product all in one.
Like a physical reminder.
That's right. And the
because
scent
that
of
stays
it,
with you. That sensory state makes it stay with you longer,
that's
right?
exactly right. That's exactly right. So it's been phenomenal. It's been really great. So
let's open them.
Ooh.
Yes.
A little.
I don't think I'm going to be able to read mine.
I can read mine. So here is the.
She always
the,
brags that she's younger than me. Go ahead.
So these cards are to kind of tell you the process that we walked through.
Okay.
And on the back of it, there's like some of the different options that you can choose from a one-on-one perspective. So that's the other thing I mentioned. So I talked to you a little bit about the one-on-one piece of it. And I think what makes this really exciting is that it can be done as a small group. So if you have a group of girlfriends that want to do like I just did a couple weekends ago, Girls' Day In.
Yeah.
And so I did eight individual readings. They were about 30 minutes each, and they would come to the table. We would do the process, and they had charcuterie over here and their drinks. So we can do small groups. We can do like bachelorette parties, baby showers, bridal showers, housewarming parties, opening house type of parties, anything like that. That's a bit of a larger group. We
Can you do families?
Yeah.
Like, how cool would this be to gift a family moving into like a new home?
Yes.
To sit together and think about what
that intention that you're bringing into this new home.
Town, this new
absolutely.
home, this new life that we're going to have.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. And you said gift as well. I did just start my Etsy page right in time for Mother's Day. So this is also a really great gift idea, whether it's Mother's Day. Quite honestly, I've had a lot of men engaged in this as well, surprisingly. Really? Yes. Yeah. So they were saying, maybe instead of calling it a scrub, you've got to call it something else. I've got a little bit more work to do on the guys' front.
Yeah.
But they've all been really interested in like kind of the theory behind it. So yeah, I think the family idea is fabulous. And that was one of the things I was thinking about in correlation with real estate and as someone who's like in the market or looking for homes, setting your intention as you walk into a home. Like,
part of our listing appointment.
Yeah, pausing at the threshold.
Part of our buyer appointment.
Taking that breath and just like being open to the energy that you're putting into this process, what you're getting out of it, what the house has to offer, what you can offer. With your expertise. So I think that there's a lot more outside of just the scrub part. It is about creating those rituals in your day-to-day that can really just ground you in those types of things. Before I'd go into a buyer meeting where a lot of this started as well was, and I can be a talker, long story long is what we like to say. I would pause and I would say, okay, I want to have clear communication. And I want to cut out the filler words, and I want to have the courage to ask the hard questions if I need to. And so every time I go into a buyer meeting, I started creating that ritual for myself. And I just felt so much more confident walking in and walking out of there with the things I thought I needed from the meeting. So again, this is meant to be like a one little piece of it to where you start to have this ritual that you can use sort of across all areas of your life. It's not just about the shower scrub.
Yeah.
It's so good too for us, to do is like with our office, right? With our peers or our colleagues that we work with. Because we are stronger when we all working together and when we're all kind of, shutting out there's so much noise in the world today, right? It can be so overwhelming.
Yes.
That you can forget the basics. But this brings us back to the basics. So
Yes.
your timing on this
Presence.
is perfect.
Yes. And that's another thing too, like
Being present.
that's right. It all does really, again, my desire for connection and presence. I remember, having a conversation with someone and them looking at their phone while I'm talking to them. And I'm like, man, the way that made me feel, I never want someone to feel that way when I'm talking to them. So that immediately, as I go into conversations, especially have this time and space to do it. Now, I know a lot of times we're very busy and you have to look at your watch or your phone for whatever reason, but be honest about it, right? Like, hey, I got to look at my phone real quick. This is not a reflection of, my engagement with you. But that was where a lot of this came from as well. People being seen and heard. And some of the early conversations that I had, I met a woman early in her career, and she was kind of, didn't know where to go. She was really, pressure testing her values and how they were associated with her company. And I remember having the first conversation with her, and, she cried because of some of the things I said to her and just the observations that I had.
In like a corporate setting?
Yeah, immediately just from, I said, you are strong and smart. Like whoever this boss is that's making you feel this way is just really, that's not fair or right.
Was this like a job interview?
No, it was just
okay.
it was someone
We're
who.
being all judgmental.
No, it was just I had actually met her at a networking event,
Oh.
and she was looking for guidance on some of these things, and you could tell like just me listening to her and being present in that conversation, and even the just short period of time that I knew her, just the observations that I saw in her, and it's like no one had ever told her that. No one had taken the time to listen to her and tell her the things that she probably really clearly needed to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's when I knew, like, gosh, that idea of presence and really talking through some of the things around people's minds and being able to transform some of those thoughts into something that is more beneficial for you. There's something to that. There's something to it. And it's helped me a ton too. So
For sure. Not everybody needs to be fixed. Not everybody wants to be fixed. Sometimes we just want to be heard.
that's right.
Right? It's like, I don't need an answer.
Totally.
Just listen to what I'm
Yes.
saying and acknowledge that you heard what I'm saying.
Well, and that's funny that you say that because I am 100% a problem solver. So I have to catch myself in a lot of instances and say, okay, what do you need from me? Do you need me to help you solve this problem? Would you like some suggestions? Or do you just want to vent? Do you just want to get it off your chest? So I find that people just tend to be problem solvers for the most part because you never want to come to someone with a problem without a solution. But yeah, you're right. A lot of people just really want to be heard and understood about the experience that they're going through. And one of the other things too, as I'm coming into this space, I had a really tough delivery with my daughter. And coming out of it, I was sharing some of the details. And a woman was like, oh, that happens to everybody. I'm like, does it? That's great. But this happened to me, and this is how it made me feel.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, no, I was 1% of women. So don't tell me that happens to everybody. And again, in that moment, I thought, I don't want someone to feel that way. Yes, we may have similar experiences, but you experience them in a way that is only yours.
Right. And don't
so
try to diminish it by saying.
I can sympathize with you, and I can tell you maybe what worked for me as I moved through it, but you can't say, oh, that's everybody.
Do you think you're the only one that's ever had a baby?
Yeah.
Did you ever hear that one?
Yeah.
I heard that one.
Oh my God. It's unbelievable. But yeah, some of those things, it's just.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I know. People come out with the strangest things. I don't even know why they feel they need to fill the air with their voice. It's narcissism or something. I don't know what it is, but
so is this like a tarot card philosophy?
So the oracle card pull is similar to a tarot card, but an oracle deck actually gives you a much broader, not necessarily a reading, but tarot cards are all basically the same. In an oracle deck, I have like 3 or 4 of them, and they're all different types of cards. None of them are the same. And it's just a little bit, I don't know how to explain it. So it just gives you a little bit.
Can we pull a card?
Yeah. Pull a card.
Yeah.
what if we pull a crazy card?
Well,
Tarot cards can also be very dark, right?
they can.
Are oracle cards?
Well, if mine comes out dark, just lie. Make it happy.
Well, it says work your light.
I have a couple. So there's the Work Your Light, and then there's Healing Waters and the Rose. So this one's like, Rose is more like sacred feminine. Healing Waters, I feel like it probably has a pretty clear indication of what that one might mean. Maybe some things that you're trying to heal from. And then so affirmations, usually when we write them, they're usually, I don't want to call them like flowery because they need to be something that you feel could be really true about you. But if you feel like you need a little more punch, I have this deck called Listen, Bitch. And it's just a little bit more edgy about kind of bucking up Skippy, being like, okay, put on your big girl pants and walk in there and do what you got to do. Set that boundary and keep it. Mm-hmm. And then when you do, you come out and you're like, good job. Yes, you celebrate those little
love that.
wins.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes I'll come into a reading, especially if it's someone that maybe I don't know so well, or if I'm trying to gauge sort of what their feelings are about things, I'll bring both decks. And I'm like, we'll write you an affirmation, but we're also going to go through this deck and we're going to find something else that on those days you need to just say this one. So I brought a little bit of both. So we can do a card pull. What are you guys feeling?
Let's do a card pull.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you have a deck that you specifically want to look at?
No.
All right, let's do this one. Work Your Light. And I usually the way I do it. So here's the thing, and I know everybody can't see this because they're also listening.
But there's your camera, so you can just show them.
The visuals of these cards are really beautiful as well. So when we do a card pull, it's not just about, there's a few words on it that help kind of get your thinking, but the visual of the card is also very arresting in a lot of cases. So when I did Danielle's girls, they all pulled separate cards. Mm-hmm. I pulled them on their behalf, but they were all separate. And I couldn't believe it. And I put them back in the deck to make sure that we pulled them the way they were. But I included them in their little notebook because I wanted them to see the visual of it as well, because I think it's almost as meaningful as the words that it says too. So this is going to be the Work Your Light deck from Rebecca Campbell. I used her. My girlfriend sent me the Rose Oracle in 2021, I think it was. And I started using it on a quarterly basis. I would just pull a card, see what I was, coming from it. And it's funny because I'll pull it now. And if it's a card that I've already pulled, because when I use the book, I will underline the words that really stand out to me. And I go back now and I pull a card and it'll be the same one I've pulled before. And I read it, completely different things that I pull out of it.
Because your experience between then and now is
different.
So different.
Yeah.
Wow. So
I had a daughter too, so it totally changes. Okay, so I'm going to let you pull the card.
The initiation, rite of passage, crossing the threshold.
Okay, so it's funny that threshold is part of that because obviously in homes, right, you're crossing the threshold. So I think that's interesting. It's dark.
I know.
Look at that. But there's some light right there.
Yeah.
Lookies. Anything that it brings up for you? Like, what do you...
I'd rather not say.
See, this is why we shouldn't do it. But that's good because
Yeah.
in a normal setting, we could dig into that a little bit.
Okay.
And you would have a notebook because with every reading, you get a notebook with a pen. And when turn that card over, you get to jot down some of those feelings that are coming up, the visual imagery and things like that. So when you leave, you have it with you. And you can also continue to journal in that as well.
Okay.
You brought something up about all the things going on around us today. I borrow brilliance, and that is from another group of women that I follow called Squiggly Careers. So if you know anybody in that space, they're really great, but they borrow brilliance all the time. And so I borrowed brilliance from a woman who talked about a worry journal. And she said, as you're going through your week, if there are some things that come up that worry you, jot them down.
My daughter does that.
In your phone, whatever.
She's only 8, but she does it.
Well, at the end of the week, you're supposed to revisit it. And if it's still something that worries you, what are a small action that you can do to help calm that worry, whether it's education, a donation, anything, like whatever that may be. And it's okay to have those feelings, and it's totally fine, especially nowadays. There's so many things going on. But that's just a tip too. Just your intuition is telling you something you don't feel right about it and you're worried. Write it down, interrogate it, come back to it. If it bothers you, take a small step to learn more, find someone that knows more about it, like make some connections about it. She's 8, so she would need your help with that, but it's a great habit.
I actually saw it on Instagram. It's like a Scandinavian ritual that you worry and anxiety has a place in your life, but it's only supposed to be like right before bed. So you write down all your worries and then you say, okay, now for 24 more hours, I'm not going to worry about this. And I'm going to revisit this tomorrow, cross out and add to it. And I think it's helping her a little bit.
That's great. It helps you sleep better too because you get those things off your mind and it's so much better. Okay, so great. Do you want to pull from the same deck or do you want to pull from?
I do, but I don't have to pull the top one, do I?
No, you can pull.
I can pull wherever I want. Right? Did you know that? Did you know that you could have pulled anywhere?
Well,
so if you want to pull again, you can. You just took the top card, and I don't know if that was really meant to be your card.
That's okay. You go ahead.
Okay. I want you to be happy. I don't want you working in your worry.
Well, she had something, and this book also has more details about each of the cards as well that we would go over. And you're welcome to take a look at this later if you want, or if you want to pull a new card, that's okay too.
So that's mine. Don't dim to fit in.
Do you think you do that?
How am I dimming my light to fit in?
Yeah.
Do you think you are?
You don't seem like a dimmer.
No. Mm-mm. Okay, we used the wrong deck. Let's do a different deck.
You guys are so great. I love it. I love it.
It was a pretty card, though.
They are
Aren't
pretty.
they? Aren't they so pretty? And this deck, these are actually even more.
Let's do the B one.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Let's get some.
Okay.
And you can.
Do you have to shuffle them, or can I?
No, you can shuffle them. It's best to use, and those are just fun to. I actually used those in the last year. Another girl that I played football with actually got me these for Christmas last year.
These are fun.
I used these because there's 50 of them each week.
Really?
On Monday, I would pull a new one, and I would put it up on my mirror, and I would use that as my mantra for the week, and sort of just really kind of interrogate it and say, what does this mean to me? And use it as fuel, because really they are like, they're fueling.
Okay. What did the other one say that I dimmed to fit in?
Yeah.
This one says, blurt out your ideas or hold them back and see what happens.
Kind of the same.
That is so weird, right? This is what I'm saying. Okay, we got to dig into this. We got to dig into it.
Okay, but not on the air.
Not on the air, but we're going to dig into it. Yes. Okay.
And kind of on the same wavelength, like it was a dark tunnel, and then the light, it says change is good, embrace that. And then a bad word.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. So we have follow-ups here, ladies.
Yes.
We have follow-ups, which I absolutely love. Okay. So you're getting the feel for it. So we would take this and we would dive in a little bit more, and we would write you probably not a perfect affirmation, just something that's true. And especially if you've been telling yourself some things, let's talk about it, because more than likely it's probably a lie, unless they're good. Now, we're not saying that all thoughts are bad. But in a lot of cases, women have a tough time with imposter syndrome, creating boundaries and keeping them, feeling like they can have good things happen to them. Those are a lot of the things that tend to come up whenever I've been talking to people. And some are just very comparative, right? Comparing themselves, which can be a little bit of imposter syndrome, but comparing to others. That was the thing that I was struggling with the most when I came across this Think, Be, Do. And I was just, why don't I have that? Just like negative thoughts, just like nothing that was productive.
Did you ever read the book Ninja Selling?
Mm-hmm. Not the whole book. I read
just
a
the
little
affirmations
bit of it.
part of it. It's a little bit the same, like how you talk to yourself, how it really matters.
That's right. Self-talk really does matter. And as woo as this does kind of seem, there is a science to it, right? You were talking about the scent and that sensory part of it. A lot of those things, and even the affirmations and the way you speak to yourself, the science behind those things is there. So it's a matter of just pulling on those.
So
things.
is this something that you would recommend you do as a group project, or is this more of a one-on-one? Because you could probably get into it so much more one-on-one.
I mean, my preference is one-on-one. Again, probably selfishly. However, where the business has been gravitating to are events.
Because it's fun.
Yeah, I know. If my Pokino friends are listening, this is what I want to do at our next Pokino party.
Yes.
I think it could be really, really, but I think then when you do a party like that, you're probably just touching on something.
That's right.
And then you need the one-on-one follow-up.
You got it.
Good for you, though, for sales.
That's exactly it.
Cha-ching.
Well, not particularly planned, but I mean, that's kind of how it is working. And I do love it to, like I said, cast my net wide. And the more people I can meet at some of these parties and things like that. My husband told me, though, he's like, Alaina, you can't go following up with every single person that you meet. You cannot possibly hold all that for everybody.
Yeah.
So as much as I talk about boundaries for everybody else, when I was doing some of my own card pulls, that was the very first thing that came up was boundaries. And so one of my very first potions that I made myself was all about abundance and success. And then all of a sudden I realized I needed to back up and get the foundation right before I went straight into that. And so that was kind of some of my own learnings.
Because then the house of cards just falls.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it's a journey.
I wish we could talk all night, but we're out of time.
I know. But if people want to reach out to you for individual sessions or for, group parties,
whatever,
how do they reach you?
Instagram is the best way. So Lightcraft Studio USA. The email is the same, lightcraftstudiousa@gmail.com if you'd prefer to email.
I'm going to pour myself some tea she brought us.
I know. We brought some sun tea for the gals, on theme. And then the Etsy page is also live now, too, as you're thinking about gifting for Mother's Day and even for graduation. That's Lightcraft Studio USA as well.
Great. Okay.
Thank you for coming
thank
on.
you
We'll be
so
hearing from
much.
us.
Pleasure. I really enjoyed it. Thank you for having me.